Schopenhauer didn't whisper his thoughts about women. He didn't couch them in delicate phrasing or polite observation. He attacked them with the precision of a philosopher who believed he had uncovered an unchangeable law of human existence. In his notorious essays, he described women as ruled by instinct, masters of subtle manipulation, incapable of the type of rational genius men could achieve. To today's ears, it sounds cruel, even misogynistic. But if you've ever felt the sharp sting of being replaced, ignored, or emotionally toyed with by a woman you loved, part of you already knows he wasn't entirely wrong. Schopenhauer didn't invent stereotypes. He observed patterns, behaviors rooted in evolution, ancient and enduring, that modern psychology has only begun to confirm. By the end of this video, you won't hate women, but you may begin to see them through a lens of reality rather than fantasy. And that shift alone can save a lifetime of confusion. Only a man blinded by desire could call women the fair sex without pause. Schopenhauer saw beauty not as inspiration, but as evolutionary strategy. Life, he argued, is a trap, a cruel cycle set in motion by the will, a blind force that drives all living creatures to desire what they cannot sustain. Within this trap, women are not mere companions. They are instruments of nature, designed to secure survival and advantage. To him, charm wasn't a gift of the soul, it was a weapon. A woman's love wasn't eternal, it was a temporary contract, negotiated in youth, renewed only as long as utility and advantage demanded it. While men fantasize about passion, legacy, and devotion, women navigate the world seeking security, resources, and stability. And if a better opportunity appears, she moves on. This is not betrayal, according to Schopenhauer. It is biology. He wrote of women, their nature is not evil, but cunning. Their beauty is not a mirror of virtue, but a tool of seduction. Their affection is a fleeting promise, a contract with expiration written in instinct. In other words, male suffering in love is rarely caused by women's cruelty. It is caused by men's illusions. While men dream of romance, loyalty, and emotional permanence, they are being quietly optimized, conditioned by evolutionary forces they do not yet understand. Schopenhauer saw this not as poetry, but as reality, a blueprint of human interaction written in desire and survival. Consider the modern dating world. Ghosting, silent treatment, and sudden withdrawal aren't anomalies. They are predictable outcomes of ancient survival strategies. Hypergamy, a concept modern evolutionary psychologists use to describe a woman's preference for higher value mates, explains why men are often left bewildered, asking, "I gave her everything. Why did she leave?" Women, as studies by David Buss and others show, evaluate potential partners not just for strength or appearance, but for social status, ambition, and resources. Their attraction fluctuates with fertility cycles, favoring confidence and dominance when nature deems reproduction most likely. Long before science measured this, Schopenhauer had seen it in action. The way women flirt, withdraw, and choose, always weighing advantage. This is why women often initiate divorces, why emotional dissatisfaction persists even in materially secure relationships, and why patterns like ghosting and manipulation appear so common. It's not deception in the conventional sense. It's instinct in motion. Where men seek permanence, loyalty, and devotion, women are hardwired to optimize advantage. In today's world, with endless choices at the swipe of a finger, these instincts accelerate. Men offering loyalty are often unknowingly investing in someone whose priorities are determined by biology, not emotion. And that is exactly what Schopenhauer was warning about. She loves you until she doesn't need to. Schopenhauer's insights extended beyond beauty or attraction. He recognized the power beneath the beauty, emotional influence. Women, historically unable to compete physically, develop psychological tools: charm, guilt, withdrawal, and confusion. These tools haven't disappeared. Modern psychology describes them as covert power, strategies women, often unconsciously, use to influence behavior and ensure advantage. Robert Greene, in the 48 Laws of Power, warns of emotional manipulators, those who seduce with vulnerability, disarm with charm, and dominate through guilt. Sam Vaknin's research on narcissistic women demonstrates how silent treatment, emotional coldness, and withdrawal are not random behaviors. They are methods of control. Think about it. She doesn't argue. She cries. She doesn't demand. She withdraws. You apologize, adjust, and comply. Not because she asks directly, but because you fear losing her approval. And in doing so, men train themselves to live for female validation, often losing track of their own identity. Modern men are taught to suppress instinct, apologize for asserting needs, and worship female emotion. Love is framed as sacrifice. The more you give, the more she will stay. But nature doesn't reward sacrifice. It rewards advantage. Schopenhauer's warning is not bitterness. It is clarity. Men who fail to see female nature as it is, rather than how they wish it to be, become prey to illusion. He didn't advise hatred, he advised detachment. The wise man places his happiness not in the gratification of desire, but in its denial. In other words, mastery over self, not over others. Build a life she cannot manipulate. Value your emotional sovereignty above transient affection. Modern Stoicism echoes this truth. A man must never be ruled by the emotions of others. He responds, he filters, he questions, he learns. He does not collapse under guilt or romanticize suffering. This is not coldness, it is maturity. A man who stops letting her define his worth no longer serves, he leads. He becomes ungovernable. He sees the smile, reads the strategy. He receives affection without surrendering power. He loves deeply, but never forgets reality. She is not a savior, therapist, or mother. She is a creature of instinct, mood, and shifting loyalty. Accepting this without anger or bitterness is the path to sovereignty. Sovereignty manifests in subtle ways. Choosing women who respect boundaries, walking away from manipulation, refusing to compromise masculinity for temporary comfort. No longer apologizing for standards, strength, or silence. Schopenhauer predicted that a man who sees reality suffers less because he no longer invests his soul in contracts designed only to test, extract, and discard. He can love from a distance, serve without servitude, give without losing his core. This, at its heart, is not misogyny, it is survival. It is the ability to maintain self-possession in a world optimized to exploit illusion. It is the courage to walk alone until someone worthy joins the journey. Awareness, clarity, and control replace anger, bitterness, and vulnerability to manipulation. So what does this mean for the modern man? Stop chasing illusion. Stop overvaluing charm, softness, and fleeting attention. Build a life that cannot be commandeered by emotion. Observe patterns, recognize evolutionary imperatives, and act with foresight. Learn from psychology, philosophy, and history. Schopenhauer didn't write to make men bitter. He wrote to make them bulletproof. The world is not a fairy tale. It is a complex system of advantage, instinct, and survival. Men who understand female nature are not cynical. They are sovereign. They love, they serve, they build, but they never surrender their core. The ultimate lesson is simple. See clearly, act deliberately, and refuse to be disarmed by charm. Recognize affection for what it is, a complex signal shaped by evolution. Protect your identity, protect your freedom, protect your life, because a man who sees reality is no longer a victim. He is an architect of his own fate. He is immune to manipulation. He is dangerous, not in cruelty, but in mastery. And that mastery is the true inheritance of Schopenhauer's philosophy. Not hatred of women, but a profound understanding of them. And through that understanding, the reclamation of self. Don't become bitter, become aware. Don't become cold, become clear. Because a man who understands the machinery of desire and affection no longer fears it, he commands it. He loves without losing himself. He builds without surrendering his sovereignty. And in the end, that is freedom.